Welcome everyone, I'm Travis Moran and this is another episode of Living Room to Lake. And in my case, I'm actually in some random stranger's living room because I'm down at Lake Havasu, Arizona. I rented an Airbnb and I've been here for the last few days filming fishing content so we can create a better living room to lake video for you guys, and also individual product videos educating you guys specifically on how to use different products that you're getting in your boxes. And that's the whole idea between this living room to lake, is we're gonna open up the latest Lucky Tackle Box and go through the different lures, and I'm gonna tell you about how I use them so you can think about whether they apply to your local waters and how you're gonna go out and fish them, and ultimately give you the confidence to throw them and then actually catch fish. Now, to you guys that are in the wintertime right now, your lakes are frozen over, this is just meant to just kind of keep you in the bass fishing game. You know, you can go over this stuff with us and start thinking about what you're gonna do once that ice melts. The water's still gonna be cold water conditions. That's what these baits are great for, and you will be able to throw those then. So you got some time to actually think about that. But anyway, guys, the Lucky Tackle Box is all about the education side. And one more further step that I'm excited to tell you about is we are gonna be doing themed boxes from now on. I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about that at the end of the show, so stick around. And I'm also gonna give you a little sneak peek at one of the baits coming in the next Lucky Tackle Box. We got some major brands really excited to join back in with the Lucky Tackle Box because of the education play that we're making, and I'm really excited to tell you guys about them. Anyway, without further ado, let's open up the box and start talking about some fishing lures. All right, first bait in here is the Gravel Lizard Lures Swim 4.0. This is a small little swim bait, perfect for most conditions. It's got that lifelike little swimming tail, and then this pre-rigged head that comes in here does this little side-to-side wobble. You guys, that's a big characteristic and quality little swim baits, that when you get that little side-to-side, the fish really tend to hit that bait a whole lot more. Then if you want to add a little bit more flash, you can actually rig this on an underspin where that little blade will draw the fish's attention a little bit more, and when they come in and see that lifelike little swimming action, they're gonna nail it. Great little bait. Look forward to hearing you guys catch a lot of fish with that. All right, guys, next up is a brand new product being released from Bait Rigs called the Tbone Spaz, and it's available to our Lucky Tackle Box subscribers first. So you guys will be the first ones on the block using this bait. At first glance, it looks like a traditional jerk bait, but actually has some added new features to it, starting with the cupped lip. We're used to that more rectangular shaped jerkbait lip. This has that full cup to it on the face of this bait that's gonna give it more action, and it's gonna make it easier to get that erratic motion you want out of baits like this to draw the fish's attention and draw those strikes. And a couple other features are the little ribbed sides that are going to displace more water, put off a little different vibration, give these fish something they haven't seen. It's got a weight distribution ball in there that knocks around as you're jerking it, creating sound, drawing in fish, but also when you go to cast, that bait falls to the tail end of the bait, giving you the leverage to fire that bait a long distance. This bait comes in a lot of different colors. I think you're really gonna like this one. All right, guys, moving right along to the Mismo Baits Bass Tube. Guys, if you're not fishing a tube, you are not fishing as efficiently as you should be. See what I did there? I say this all the time, you guys. Tubes are really a lost art. With so many different products and lures coming into the market, this has really lost its sexiness. It's lost its appeal. We've really gone to new baits and new techniques, and the tube still flat out catches fish. Very easy to rig up. What I do is I'll use like a 1/4 ounce to a 3/8 ounce little ball head or a tube weight, a tube head. Really, you just need some kind of weighted head, and what I'll put is scent in the actual tube, so that'll keep scent in it. It'll create a scent trail, but also it makes it easier for me to slide that weight up into the body, and you're ready to go. I fish this on a spinning rod or a bait casting rod, anywhere from 8 to 12 pound mono or fluorocarbon, and I'm dragging this or hopping it along the bottom. This bait First of all, when it falls, it has this like lazy little Susan swirl down there that for some reason draws fish in from a ways away. And then that little hopping motion or dragging motion makes that bait look like a little crawfish or some kind of little goby or something down on the bottom, meandering and working down there. And it can really get fish to bite when no other lures can. So I really think you're gonna enjoy this one. Guys, if you're not throwing tubes, you've gotta be throwing them, and Mismo Baits makes excellent ones. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Where we go? What's the next one? What's the next one? How about custom fishing Minnow Spoon? This is a big old spoon that I think you guys are gonna enjoy. Now in the past, when we've put spoons in the box, it's been more about vertical spooning. This is a casting spoon. So what you're gonna do with this one is you're actually going to make long casts, and this bait is made to mimic dying bait fish. So as it sinks, it's gonna flutter down, and it's gonna really be putting off a lot of shine, a lot of reflection, looking like some bait fish falling down to the bottom. Once it gets to the bottom, all you do is you reel in the slack and you lift that rod up. So you're hopping it along the bottom as you're reeling it back to the boat. And you hop it up, and then you let that bait on slack line flutter back down. But you wanna be watching your slack line so that if you see it stop before it's on the bottom, or you see it jump, you gotta reel in and start reeling that fish in quickly. But you guys, this is a bait that's, can really generate some fish, especially in these colder water months. I know you think that you've got to go to small baits. A lot of us think that when the fishing's tough, you really got to go to those smaller finesse tactics. But this type of fishing can really generate some big strikes, because when the water gets real cold, there's a lot of fish that die off. There's a lot of die off from the bait fish, and the bass are used to seeing an easy meal flutter down, and they will pound this thing. Good luck. Let me know if you like casting spoons in the comments below. What's next? All right, and up next is another wintertime classic. That is Action Strike's Echo. This is considered a blade bait. Very easy to use. This one's a smaller style, so you can use this on a spinning rod, which I know a lot of you guys will like. Throw it on 8 to 10 pound mono or fluorocarbon, and you're gonna see that there are a number of holes. There's actually 4 holes on the back of this bait. Depending where you tie it is going to allow or minimize the action, a little shimmy out of this bait. I tend to actually just put it in one of the 2 middle holes so I can get a good amount of action, but not too much. If you put it towards the back, you're gonna get more. Towards the front, you're gonna get less. Now, the way you use this bait is you cast it out, let it sink to the bottom, and you just lift it, anywhere from a foot to 2 feet. All you do is just lift it, let it fall back down. Lift it, let it fall back down. And you're wanting to just hop this bait along the bottom. A lot of times, guys, in videos I've made in the past, I talk about using lipless crankbaits like this. It's very similar to that. When you lift this bait up, you'll feel it in your rod. You'll feel that little vibration because this bait makes a little shimmy. And it looks like a little bait fish trying to get away, and then you let it fall back to the bottom. And the bass, tend to be down towards the bottom in these colder months. And this is a great little bait to get down to them effectively, but then also generate strikes. You're not moving too fast because you're just doing a little shimmy and letting it fall. The fish has a chance to hit that bait, but it looks like it's trying to take off, and that a lot of times can trigger some inactive fish into biting. Once again, guys, another great cold water bait that should put more fish in the boat for you. And it's also not so much of a finesse bait. You don't have to move real slow. So it's fun to actually be throwing this thing because you're not just sitting around dragging a worm, which can sometimes be a little bit boring. And anyway, this will keep you warm, at least going through the motions. I think we got another one. We got another bait in here? We do, we've got more baits. Guys, the last bait in the box is Big Mouth Baits Instigator. Guys, during the winter and through the spring, jerk baits are crucial. It's very important to have a wide variety of types of jerk baits and colors so that you can effectively fish this time of the year. When you're using a jerk bait, you want to make twitches on semi-slack line. You're really snapping that line And the reason you want to give it a little slack is so when you pull it forward, it has a little bit of slack to then churn and create that erratic motion. So whether you're using the jerk bait or the new Spaz in your box, you're going to be doing that jerking motion, and that erratic motion really gets the fish's attention. And then you want to throw in a pause every once in a while. Do like 2 to 3 jerks and then a pause from 1 second to 5 or 10 seconds if the fish are really slow to react. And once you've got the fish's attention, when you give it that pause, that allows the fish the chance to come up and eat that bait. A lot of times when you have clear water and you've got fish pretty deep down there, and you're doing that erratic motion, those fish are seeing it, they're hearing it, and every time you pause, they might come up a little bit, but they don't come up all the way. Then you jerk it a few more times, they come up a little further. So sometimes it's not till the second or third time you paused it that you actually get that strike. But you guys definitely have a jerkbait tied on every single time you hit the water this time of the year. Ranging from colors, you want these brighter colors in kind of dingier or stained water or on mud lines from the wind. And then you want more natural looking colors in clear water or when it's not too much wind chop on the surface. But the best times to throw jerk baits are going to be early in the evening, early in the morning, late in the evening, or my favorite time when there is wind. Anytime there's wind up against some banks or something like that this time of the year, fire up to that bank, bring it from shallow to deep water, and those fish are going to be waiting just on whatever ledge, ready to come up and blast that thing. All right, we always have some hooks in the box, and so this month we had the Mustad 4/0 big mouth hooks. Guys, these are hooks that you're gonna use a whole lot. You can rig the tubes that the Mismo tubes that are in the box with a little bullet weight. You can rig your stick baits, your flukes. The 3/0 and 4/0 little wide gap hooks like this are the most common hooks you're gonna be using while out fishing. So hold on to these, you'll be using them throughout the season. All right, guys, well, that does it for the baits and hooks that are in this month's box. But don't forget, we always include a Lucky magazine in every box. My good buddy is the one that edits and produces this magazine, puts some great things for you to think about and hopefully apply next time you are out fishing. So make sure to take a look at that whenever you get a chance. Then, as promised, I'm going to talk a little bit about upcoming boxes. Guys, we couldn't be more excited to introduce themed boxes. This is going to help in our continued, as we continue to increase our education side of Lucky Tackle Box, creating themes like early spring, fishing structure, finesse box, topwater box will help you guys understand the baits that come in the box and will help us teach them to you a little bit better. And because we're doing this, we have been joined by a lot of brands that are excited to be part of our education platform. And one of those brands is Tbone Fishing. And we're gonna be introducing the Beast spinnerbait in next month's box. Guys, Gary Dobbins claims this is the best spinnerbait on the market. It has the best components and is exactly what you need to catch more fish. I am very excited to create a video with this and to get it in your guys' hands and hear what you think. But guys, that's one of the name brands we have in next month's box. There's a lot more. You guys are going to be super excited about the future and what 2020 is bringing to the Lucky Tackle Box family. Anyway, guys, that does it for this episode of Living Room to Lake. I'm Travis with Lucky Tackle Box, and I will catch you out on the water.